I am 101 years old, and I need to tell you something that's going to make you uncomfortable. Your children will stop calling. Not all at once, not with a fight, not with some big dramatic goodbye. They'll just stop, slowly, quietly, the way a river dries up and nobody notices until all that's left is cracked dirt and the memory of water. And the worst part? The worst part isn't the silence. It's that you'll be the only one who notices. I have this telephone, old landline, sits right here on a little wooden table next to my chair. The cord is tangled up on itself, hasn't been straightened in years. There's dust on the receiver so thick you could write your name in it. And I know because I have. I traced my finger across it one afternoon when the quiet got so heavy I needed to touch something, anything, just to prove I was still here. That phone hasn't rung in 4 years. Not once. Not a wrong number, not a scam, nothing. Just this little plastic monument sitting in a beam of light from the window, dust floating around it like it's something sacred. But it's not sacred. It's a tombstone. And the thing it's marking is me. Let me tell you how I got here. I was a worker. That's what I called myself. A provider. Back in the 60s and 70s, that word meant something to men like me. You provided. You clocked in before the sun came up, and you clocked out after it went down. And you did that 6 days a week. And on the 7th day, you were so tired you slept through breakfast and called it rest. I worked double shifts at the plant. I smelled like machine grease and burnt coffee every single night when I came home. If I came home. My wife would leave a plate for me on the counter, covered with foil. Most nights it was cold by the time I touched it. Some nights I didn't touch it at all. I missed my son's first baseball game. I missed my daughter's school play. She was a tree. A tree. All she had to do was stand there with her arms out, and I couldn't even show up to watch her do that. I told myself it didn't matter. I told myself, there'll be more plays. There'll be more games. Right now, I need to build something so these kids never go hungry the way I did. That was the lie. That was the big, comfortable lie I wrapped around myself like a blanket for 40 years. If I give them everything I never had, they'll always be grateful. They'll always be close. They'll understand that every missed dinner, every empty chair at the table, every "Dad's working late again" was love. Just love in a different shape. But here's what I didn't understand. You can't ask people to translate your absence into love forever. Eventually, they stop trying. Eventually, they take you at face value. And my face was never there. I was surrounded by people back then. The job site, the office, the union hall. Hundreds of people knew my name. And the 5 people who shared my blood barely knew my voice. Now I'm surrounded by no one. And the only thing I want to hear is one of those 5 voices, even just one. I remember the exact morning everything became clear to me. It was a Sunday, about 15 years ago. October, I think, because the window was cracked open and I could smell the leaves. That heavy, sweet, rotting smell that autumn carries when the trees are letting go of everything they've been holding. I was sitting right here in this chair, and I was waiting. The phone used to ring on Sundays. My daughter, Karen, she started that. Every Sunday after church, she'd call. "Hi, Dad, just checking in." 5 minutes, sometimes 10, nothing deep. Just her voice, coming through that receiver like a little thread tying me to the world. But that Sunday, the phone didn't ring. And I sat there, and I thought about it, and I realized it hadn't rung the Sunday before either, or the one before that. I couldn't even tell you when the last call had been. It had slipped away so gently I hadn't felt it leave, the way warmth leaves a room when the fire dies down. You don't feel the cold arrive. You just suddenly realize you're shivering. The house was so still, I could hear the clock on the wall ticking like a heartbeat that wasn't mine. I could hear the faucet in the kitchen dripping, one drop every few seconds hitting the basin. That tiny sound filled the whole house. That's how empty it was. A single drop of water was the loudest thing in my life. I picked up the receiver. I put it to my ear. The dial tone was there, steady, humming. The phone worked fine. It wasn't broken. They just stopped. I called Karen. She picked up on the fourth ring, cheerful, rushed. "Oh, hi, Dad. Things have just been so crazy lately. The kids have soccer and Jake's got this new project, and I keep meaning to call, I really do." No anger, no resentment, nothing I could fight against, just life. Her life, moving forward without me in it. I said, "That's all right, sweetheart," and I hung up. I sat there in that kitchen, and I looked up at the wall where there's this framed photograph. The whole family, taken sometime in the 80s. Everyone smiling. My wife, my 3 kids, me in the back with my hand on my son's shoulder. And I stared at that photo, and I realized I barely remember the day it was taken. I was there, sure. My body was there. But I was already somewhere else in my mind. Thinking about work. Thinking about money. Thinking about anything except the people standing right next to me. And that's when it hit me. That's when the whole thing cracked open. I taught them this. I taught them that absence is normal. I taught them that not showing up is acceptable. That you can love someone and just not be there. And they learned it perfectly. My God, they were good students. I didn't lose my children to some tragedy. I didn't lose them to hatred or betrayal. I lost them to irrelevance. I became optional. And when you become optional to the people you raised, there is no pain on this earth that compares to it. None. That phone still sits here. Same table, same tangled cord, same dust. I never unplug it because unplugging it would mean admitting it's over. And I am not ready for that. I will never be ready for that. So it sits, and I sit. And we keep each other company, this dead phone and this old man, both waiting for something that isn't coming. Every morning I wake up and my eyes go to it first, before the window, before the clock. I look at that phone the way a dog looks at the door when its owner has been gone too long. Every evening, same thing. One more look before bed. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow it'll ring. My days all taste the same now. Breakfast alone, the clink of a single spoon against a single bowl. Then the television goes on, and strangers' voices fill the room because there are no real voices left. I listen to the news, the game shows, the commercials, not because I care, because the alternative is hearing my own breathing, and that sound, the sound of your own lungs working in an empty house, it's the loneliest sound God ever made. Christmas is the worst. Christmas morning, this house is so quiet it hums. No wrapping paper, no little feet, no arguing over who gets the last piece of pie. Just me and that phone, sitting together like two old ghosts who forgot how to leave. I touch the receiver sometimes, just rest my hand on it, not to call anyone, just to feel the plastic that once carried my daughter's voice, my son's laugh, just to be close to the memory of being remembered. I'm 101 years old. I have outlived my wife. I have outlived two of my friends. And I have outlived my usefulness to my own children. The world kept spinning and it spun me right out to the edge, and nobody looked back. Not because they're cruel, because I taught them not to. Now I want to talk to you. You, right now. Watching this on your phone, probably lying in bed, probably half paying attention. When is the last time you called your mother, your father? And I don't mean a text. I don't mean a heart emoji or a thinking of you that took you 3 seconds to type. I mean called. Your voice, their ear. A real, breathing human conversation. Don't tell me you're busy. Don't you dare tell me you're busy. I invented busy. I was the king of busy. I built a cathedral out of busy, and you know what's inside it? Nothing. Echo and dust. Busy is the lie you tell yourself until the people who loved you find peace without you. And they will find peace without you. That's the part nobody warns you about. They don't sit around suffering because you're gone. They adjust. They fill the space. They stop setting a plate for you. And one day they realize they haven't thought about you in weeks, and it doesn't even sting. Love is not permanent. I know they tell you it is. They're wrong. Love is a habit. It's a muscle. And if you don't use it, if you don't show up, if you keep saying, tomorrow, 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 that muscle dies, and you will spend your last years sitting in a chair next to a dusty phone in a quiet room, wondering how you lost everything without even noticing. Call them today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is the word that fills empty houses. Tomorrow is what cowards say when they know they should act, but comfort feels better than courage. Pick up the phone. Say the thing you've been meaning to say. Be awkward. Be clumsy. It doesn't matter. Just let them hear your voice while they still want to. My hand is resting on this phone right now. The plastic is cold. The dust is soft. The clock is ticking. And the room is so still I can hear my own heart, slow and tired, still beating for reasons I don't fully understand. Don't wait for the silence. You won't survive it like I did.